This structure was built in 1868 after slavery was abolished. It was brought here from Gonzales, Louisiana, and is not something you'd normally find on a plantation. But it is similar to the slave pens used by auction houses to confine people who were about to be sold to the highest bidder. Like any other business, slave trade followed the rules of supply and demand.
Louisiana was consuming people at a really high rate. There was a high death rate, so there's a greater demand for people.
To meet this demand, slave traders in the Upper South would assemble a coffle, that is, a collection of enslaved people, who would be transported by boat or on foot to the Lower South.
That trader is taking on the cost of their transit. So they pay for food, they pay for lodging along the way, they pay for medical care. In many cases, they take out insurance policies sold by major insurers, and then they sell them in the Lower South at a much inflated value.
Auctions took place in the city of New Orleans, as well as in the countryside.
The most important thing to remember here is that these people were just sponsored as animals and treated like that, with prices on the neck of the children.
Traders would shout out the most marketable attributes of each person in hopes of commanding higher bids.
In general, women and children sold for lower amounts than men did because most of the labor on the Lower South plantations was performed by men. Men who have some kind of a skill can sell for very high rates. In 1852, the owner of this plantation, Marie Esley Heidel, paid $1,500 for a man named Manuel Fulford, whose skill was that he was a cooper, which means he was a barrel maker, and that would have made his price very high.
But skill wasn't the only thing prospective buyers considered. For example, if an enslaved person had a reputation for running away, he or she would be considered less desirable and command a lower price. In fact, enslaved people could actively influence a buyer's decision on auction day.
If someone is buying and has a bad reputation among enslaved people as being a cruel master or something like that, enslaved people could change how they look, change their body language so that they'll be less desirable.
You can read more about the